Okay, so pranams to everybody. So obviously, if it is Tiruvannamalai topics, then it's going to be reflection on the deeper aspects of our self. I often keep talking about what prevents us from going there to the self, which I find it very important. The mind might come up with a lot of excuses saying that it's very tough and all that stuff. So whatever is that toughness in that has to be addressed.
Okay, today I met someone at Ramana who is already on shifting into awareness platform. She bumped into me. I know she was all this months trying to catch up with me whenever I came here to Tiruvannamalai, but it was impossible. But this time it so happened. I was coming out of the Ramana ashram, and she was there and she came up and spoke to me. So I asked her to, okay, fine, we met and fine. You can go and reflect because you are in the ashram. She said, no, I want to talk and share about something. The same thing which I often say, not to promote so much the old stories, old memories, and things like that. But the mind is very keen to project those things again and again. So I simply told her that it's no use projecting anything from the mind because the mind will keep on going. Rather, what we do is rise and shift into awareness, and because this place is something to reflect, it's about silence. Why make the mind more noisy with all these things? This is one reason I just flee from people. Whenever I meet them, especially in these places where we have come to reflect deeply, there should be no room for any kind of noise. So I literally flee from people when the world or worldly things, or rather, you can say the mind, the talks of the never ending stories of the mind comes in. I just flee because there is no point.
So despite telling, okay, it's okay, go and reflect. You have come here to the ashram, go and sit there silently. No, no, I want to say something. Again, those stories. If not anything, how I met you, how it is important, how the guide is important, how this is happening, how that is happening. I came to you through my guru. I was searching about something about my guru and then saw you and then all those stuff. I said, okay, okay. Now go and sit. Huh? No, no, no. I want to tell how important it is, how these main things in my life happened, changed and transitioned. It was you. And I said, listen, one thing. At least once you understand properly what I'm telling. I said, catch the grace that is taking you to people and places. Catch the grace that is bringing people to you or circumstances to you, or that is taking you to circumstances or people. Without grace, even they are helpless. Your gurus also are helpless without grace. Why are you not understanding that? You say your mentor, guide, your gurus, or whatever you call them. How are they coming to you? Or you going to them? Without the divine plan, it will not happen. Without some grace, it will not happen. It is not about the individual. You have to understand. It's not. If not me, somebody else will come. If not that somebody else will come. तू नहीं तो कोई और नहीं तो कोई और से. It goes on. It is never about an individual. This is our sheer ignorance which we see it is an individual. This is the cause of our problems. You become like a gramophone record. You are stuck there only. Guru. Or guide or mentor. You are stuck with all these things only. Definitely, they must be respected and all that. Good. That's fine. But that they are not your source, my dear. They are not your destination. There are some objects, some mediums that the divine has placed to ease whatever way it is. So you must give up this habit of thinking that that individual is doing something for you. Individual has no power to do. No individual has any power to do anything. I told you yesterday, right? Those individuals only are dependent on the God. Can they do anything without God? And they all the time connected there. So there is some source, right? From where everything is coming. Why are we so helpless to go to the source? Why is this so difficult to understand? The concepts can, you know, put people in some literally catchy situations. So you are not able to go beyond them. And what are these people? What are these objectives? They are all objectives. They are all outside. They until they become a reflection for you to redirect yourself and go within. Even those objectives or mediums also are useless. Then I'm telling this clear. If any of those mediums are keeping you engrossed in only that objective and you are all the time simply worshipping and fan following and clinging and stuck on with your attachment to these outer beings, then your yatra, your journey has stopped somewhere and it's not going beyond. Even if one time you cannot catch the hill also, you cannot catch Ramana also after some time. Even Ramana has to disappear. Now the question is, where do these people disappear? Where does the guru disappear? Is it in some other loka? You are here and they disappear somewhere outside? No, they all disappear into the self from where we all come. From where they come, from where you come. Is it a different point from where you are coming and the guru is coming or the medium is coming? Everything is coming from one source. That is why Ramana is trying to explain. You, the self, guru, and God are the same. The source only is playing different colors. The source only is appearing as an ignorant you, and source is appearing as a wise guru. Hmm. Source is playing that. It is all emerging from that source. The moment these objects come out, they take some individuality. That's all. You take an individuality of an ignorant being. Somebody takes a individuality of a wise being. So now it is a film, a play going on between the ignorant and wise. That's all. The ignorant is pretending to be ignorant. Wise is pretending to be wise. Are they wise or ignorant? They are none, both of them. They are pure consciousness. Just for the matter of play. That's called Leela, right? That's called the play of consciousness. Everything is taking a form. A dog, a worm, an insect, the skies, the plants, the trees, the mountains, everything is taking an objective. They are all participating in a certain identity so that they all come together and this whole stage is set up. That stage is called the play of consciousness. These are very advanced talks. Huh? We are talking directly from the source, from the director point of view, not from the actor point of view. Rest all the time we are talking from actor point of view. We are busy talking about our acting, somebody else's acting. We are focused on how I am acting as the sobbing, helpless person. Or we are interested in the play of somehow somebody is very wise and free. Once we get to that, this kind of an understanding, the whole thing is dissolved. This may not be understood by everybody. Intellectually, it may be understood by you, but your whole effort should be to make this an experience. Experientially, see this. How can you see it experientially? Not by the mind. Don't use your imaginations. So, as I'm telling you some nice stuff here, your mind will go on imagining. Oh, from the source, something came, I came. Again, you have gone somewhere else. That's not the purpose. You are seeing another movie, objective movie. That will not help. That will build new concepts. You'll get new ideas. You say, I know the creation. I know how the play of consciousness. How it is? First light came, then sound came, or from Shiva, and the Shiva and Shakti split. Then Shakti did this. Then the creation was made. Then this happened. Then that happened. Then the creation. Then the sustenance, and then the destruction. These are all nice, goody goody concepts. They are all concepts only, nothing more than that. All the good, nice imaginations. Why do we call them concepts? Because these are all subjective experience, actually. It is the whole story of how I came into existence, how I am sustaining myself, and how I am disappearing. I come into existence, the world comes into existence. Simple. I sustain myself, I sustain the world around me. I destroy myself, the world destroys around me. Simple. It is purely a subjective experience. But instead of this is an experience. Instead of this, when you project all these truths in your mind, you start objectively focusing and creating some drama in your mind. Brahma came, Vishnu came, and Rudra came. You create, you give all these designs, and then you remain stuck in it. It's your own web. See, that is why I posted that image today. What was that? Let me just read it. That which really exists is only the self, the world, the jiva, that is self, individual self. There is a ego. Jiva means ego. Jivatman. And Ishvara, God, are all mental creations. So, what is the only truth that remains? I, the pure awareness. That is what we are calling as self. You call anything, it's gone case then. That's the big problem. You give a name to it, and some idea will jump up in your head. And that will then be the cause of all the troubles. That's the whole thing about it. I think I'll use this. This is better. Yeah. So what happens with the cause? That's where the whole trouble is. So here Arunachala Tattva means we are operating from that end straight from the source end. Ramana is again and again trying to explain the source to all of us. The whole practice of who am I is coming from that. Who am I means you will be forced to find out subjective experience. Here we are not talking about who's Guru, who is God. There is no such question, Sunil. There is no absolute motivation or inspiration given towards finding who is the Guru, who is the God. People who came to Ramana and talked about God, does God exist? Ramana would say, find out first whether you exist. Brilliant. Brilliant. Every problem is solved. आगे एक शब्द बोल नहीं सकते. You cannot speak a word beyond it. People who understand it cannot speak. People who are dumb cannot understand. They will go on with some other mental projections. Straight the answer is given. Does God exist? Find out whether you exist. It can be put into any way. How does God look? Find out how do you look. Where is God? Find out where you are. Where am I? What would you do? I'm thinking of doing a webinar on Sunday from you. More than who am I? The question should be what am I? Where am I? Who am I is presence. Where am I will take you to the heart center from where you came, source. What am I will make you explore your substance. Am I this mind? Am I this intellect? Am I this ego? Am I this or that? Or this identity? Am I this mask? You'll be forced to investigate. What am I? Three questions, I believe. And this just came into my mind right now. So it's a beautiful question. I think the webinar can be focused on these. It's very beautiful to understand myself from all angles. What do I exist as originally? What am I really? Where do I come from? What is my source? I think if these are done, then it clearly answers about who am I? The whole idea will be given. So here there is no talk about anything outside. Not even God. We don't talk about any gods here. Please understand, at this advanced state of awareness, you will realize that everything is a mental projection, including all the yantra, tantra, mantra. Everything is all a part of the play. See, the moment you place yourself as ignorant, I don't know anything, then you will need something. You will need study books. You will need scriptures. You will need gurus. You will need objects like yantra, mantra, tantra. Why? Because you have claimed you are ignorant. You have gone completely to the other end, objective end of ego. You're not in the source. That's the whole problem. One mistake and you will have to suffer a lot deal. This is what Bible is referring to as the original sin. What Nisargadatta Maharaj says, one error. Simply this not understanding. Simply this wrong identity. That's it. That puts you in trouble. And then you have to take on all the troubles of your sadhana. Who asked you? Like that Gangotri yogi who told me, जितना जटिल अहम अहंकार उतना जटिल तपस. Stronger the ego, the stronger your tapas. Who's asking you to be so ignorant and caught up in all those fancies that you have to do so much of rigorous work? But fortunately or unfortunately, this cannot be realized at the ignorant times.
It takes a lot of maturity to come to this position and then understand this whole thing. By the time you have done a lot of tapas, either is this janma or previous janma. And that is the benefit of tapas. That is the benefit of that play that we only took on as ignorant, and then we took on some studies. I pretend not to know anything. I deliberately forget the whole thing and then I go for tuitions or go to study only to know what I already know. But why am I doing? Loss of memory. Because of loss of memory, I am picking up books and studying which I have already studied. The whole knowledge is there within me, but since I've forgotten, I now rely to the books and scriptures and teachers outside. And then what do they do? What do the teachers and scriptures do from outside? They simply bring back your memory. That's all. Their work is to remind you. Aren't all the gurus doing the same thing? Aren't they always reminding you who you are, who you are, who you are? Aren't they always telling you, I'm not the body? So, what are the teachers doing? Are they personally giving you an experience? No. They are simply making you remove your own ignorance and making you remember yourself. This art of forgetting yourself and the art of remembering yourself is known as Tirobhava in Shiva Sutras. You deliberately forget yourself by to have an experience you want to play. Because if you know you are Shiva, why will you play the game? If you are in non-dual awareness, there is no experience. To have an experience only, the duality happens. That is the split, Ardhanareshwara. Ardhanareshwara is not happening in the heavens. It is a story of you and me only. We split. The Shakti aspect in me, I, the ego, splits. From the Shiva aspect of me, the self. Simple. Today, who is sitting here? Talking, listening, doing this and that, practicing sadhanas, and who's doing this? Ego. That is the Shakti. Shakti is busy doing only something, something or the other. It is creating, it is maintaining, it is even destroying. What is that? Lakshmi, Saraswati, and Kali. Same aspects. Creation, sustenance, destruction. Shakti's aspect only is doing it. Why? One ichha, one desire to play the game. Ichha Shakti gives rise to Kriya Shakti. That's it. And the whole process, the Shakti, manifests itself into fulfilling that ichha. That is Kriya Shakti. Kriyaman ho jata hai. And that is the game that is still going on here. One desire to experience, and see, look at us. We are all doing that only. Kriya Shakti is there in us. Kriyaman and Chanchal. Busy creating. One after the other, one after the other, one after the other. This one only Shakti creates, then it's busy sustaining. What do we do all day? We sustain ourselves. From the time we wake up, what do we do? Nothing other than sustain. We eat. What is that eating? Sustaining the body. We drink. We take good care of our bodies. What is that? Maintenance. We protect our bodies from morning to evening, from all dangers. What is that? Maintenance. Sustenance. Vishnu Tattva. That is Lakshmi. That is Mahalakshmi. Lakshmi Tattva is abundance. It sustains itself. It is earning money. Why? To sustain itself in the game. It is busy reproducing. Why? To extend the ego. Reproduction is nothing but I know somewhere my body is going to die, but the ego doesn't want to die, so it gives itself an extension. That deep craving to sustain itself Even after the body goes, that is production. That is how we see in our children, Dekho, Gaur se. How we see deeply our own reflection in them. All these big talks about what is that? What do they call for that? Prodigy, inheritance, agla kaun, waris. You can see this in spirituality also, because the I still wants to extend itself. So, ek waris, it submits it there now. Now, through that, it lives. You seen this? Everywhere this exists. That's why the ignorance is not so easy to get out of. अच्छे अच्छे भी फंस जाते हैं इसमें. That's the nature of the ego. It simply wants to exist as something. Yesterday, somebody asked that, Ira asked that question, right? About I wanting to submit myself, I want to dissolve myself. That is the mind's play. I said, ask deeply and see. Do you really want to die? You cannot ask, do you really want to die, the ego? You simply find out whether you want to exist or disappear. You'll see you don't want to disappear. Though the mind might talk about disappearance and mukti and moksha and self-realization, but ask all the people who are moving towards self-realization and so-called mukti, भोग से मोक्ष, ये भोग वाले और मोक्ष वाले को पूछो, do you want to finish? Because moksha means finishing. Many people will drop the idea once they come to know what is moksha and what is self-realization, because they think it is a state in which the ego can exist in a more divine form. That is why that identity is very difficult to be given up. Forget by ignorant, not even the higher stature, even after a certain level stature, that Gangotri yogi told me, don't get caught up with all these things. Somebody is doing tapas for 20 years, 25 years in their gufas, or they are wearing loincloth, langot. He said, this is all good achievements. You can become a siddha, you can achieve siddhis, you can go to very, but is that individual able, ready to give up that? That is moksha, dissolving oneself. You will see it's not there. It's not very easy. Very rare it is. So there also some identity is maintained even at higher levels. Maybe even the level of sannyasi, I am a sannyasi. That is why that yogi told me, यहाँ तो सन्यासी को भी साधु का लंगोट का अहंकार. Even a renunciate has the ego of his loincloth. Who told me? In the Himalayas, a yogi is telling me. These are all deliberate. My travel that time that happened 2 years back to the Himalayas. Very good learnings ahead. And that is what I am able to teach her. Practical experiences. I'm not actual. Those Himalayan yogis only are talking about it. Real genuine ones. They're not interested in anything. They're talking about the highest. Very rare to find such people. Rare are people like Ramana, who can come straight to the source and not compromise with anything else, not interested in anything else. Rare are the Avadhuts. Avadhuts can not give you anything of this world. They can dissolve your world, that's all. because in their experience there is no world. They are in non-dual awareness. There is no two, there is no other. That is why you must read the Avadhuta Gita. My efforts are to bring Avadhuta Gita completely out so that all the misconception about this subject is dissolved. Otherwise, we are living in a hoax understanding. It's not clear yet. Anything people will keep on saying. Any claims, anything, कुछ भी बोल दो. इसका क्या जाता है? Believers कुछ भी बोल सकते हैं. No, that's not right. Thank God, Bhagwan Dattatreya left behind Avadhuta Gita. Otherwise, Praman कहाँ है? वो where is the reference point? Anybody will say anything. So why it is important to know about Avadhutas? Because Avadhutas explain the state of the self. What happens in non-dual awareness? What is real Jivan Mukta? What is the state of liberation? What is the state of self-realization? Only the Avadhuta Gita and like books like Ashtavakra Gita, they all mention. So if we are very serious about knowing the truth, you must abide with the carriers of truth, that is Avadhutas, because they are living truths. The Avadhuta's highest teaching is the language of silence. That is the original Upadesha, that is the only ways an Avadhuta teaches. Very rare cases, they open their mouth. Like Nityananda, like Ramana. Nityananda used to not speak for weeks. Mauna. People who came around him in a certain frame of mind impacted. Even Ramana. They were like that only. Ramana hardly spoke all the time. So people came and just sat in that silence and received everything from him. That happens even today here. Because Ramana is not a body that's gone. It's an essence. The Guru Tattva. He is the voice of Arunachala. He is Murugan Tattva. He still speaks. If you can understand the language of silence, he still speaks. If you do not, then you will need translators. What are we here to become? We are here to learn the language of silence, not of words. Through words only you are being trained to learn the language of silence. Someday this whole thing should collapse into silence. Otherwise, it's endless chatter. It's spiritual entertainment. Avadhuta Tatva is that. All the 13 Avadhutas that I met down here in Tamil Nadu and Kerala, and one in Haryana. I feel hardly three of them spoke that to what they speak. No lectures, nothing. Very brief, to the point, something, there's some communication. Only three, rest all are Mauna. I've been in the vicinity, I've sat with them, meditated with them, and experienced also a lot of things. All of them, from all the 13 of them. Some or the other experience, valid experiences there, which I can clearly relate with Avadhuta Gita. That is how I am talking with conviction on this subject, because these beings, when you see them, when you experience them, you can relate it with Avadhuta Gita, and you'll find these quotes directly there. What is the state of Avadhuta? You will see same, matching there. In life. That is how you can understand whether it's an Avadhuta or not. I'm telling very clearly. None of them spoke. And those three of them also that spoke, hardly anything. You can't even call that speech. Here we have Topi Amma. Those who come for the retreat and all, she stays here only next to this building. Here only she stays. Every morning 6 o'clock she passes from here, where she also talks. I have had profound experiences. You can see last time retreat, many times you retreat guys who have come. Some or the other thing will happen. You don't have to run behind Avadhutas. You don't have to do pranams to them. They don't understand your damn pranams, first of all. They are not body conscious people. They are not looking at your flattery. These are all flattery only. Dandot pranam karo, fool do, go and give a flower and this. That. This is all good for saints and gurus and other yogis and enlightened beings. Oh, good enough. Not for avadhutas. Avadhutas, you must shut up. Any display of ego will not catch their attention. They cannot understand it. So if you have to come into their kind of vibes, then you have to be one with the silence that they are in. You have to be silent. Their body might be moving, but internally they are self, vast space of silence. They move in silence. People are impacted by that silence, not by their words or their actions or by their gestures. I would say a person who comes in the vicinity of an avadhuta and still wants to talk and run and touch and smile and pranams and this is still a fool, not understood the whole thing. Because that's the nature of the human mind. It simply wants to get the attention. It is trying to catch an attention of somebody. That's the play of ego. And who gets attentive to you? Any being that is paying attention to you is ego. What are we talking? Objective. When you become aware of something objectively, it has become dual. Then communicate, that is dual space, and these people are in non-dual space. I would call that even absurd because there are many Mahatmas who might be sitting in deep samadhi and you want to wake them up. Why? You want attention. We are attention seekers. Because the ego gets satisfied only when they look at us, when they speak something, when they do something. Then we feel, oh, something has happened. So, people who are in this kind of transaction will always keep their mind on, ego on, and they'll be looking through the indriyas. And that is not where the avadhutas are. You drop the indriyas, you go into that space of awareness, you be one with them, and then who cares what they give, what they don't give? Why transaction? धंधा क्यों करना है उनके साथ? Business. That's unconditional love. Even you are just present in their presence. They are also present. That's it. Khatam. There is no transaction. That's pure grace. That is how one must approach an avadhuta. Last time, I think last batch or before batch, people were at the gate taking darshan at 6 o'clock, and Amma was there somewhere far. She's like a mad lady. You look at her, you'll run. That's a good way avadhutas keep people away. All of these people whom I've met have been in very crazy and dirty positions. Some of them I put it in that poster which I created, the group Avadhutas. I just created a Facebook group on Avadhutas. Some of the photos you can see down are all the living ones, but you can see all of them are in a very different state. You look at all of them, sab langot mein, nange punge hai. They are just wanderers, dirty, unkempt, lunatics they're looking like. Look at all the Avadhutas there. That is the sign. Because they cannot maintain themselves in this world. Whom to maintain? What to show off? They don't have an image. They are not aware of their image. They don't know they are Avadhutas. If they know they are Avadhutas, then there is two. Non-dual awareness में पता ही नहीं चलता. Shiva in the purest form doesn't know he is Shiva. It is in the later states of creation when he becomes Ishvara, the identity and all those things starts coming. That is guna. So if you go to Nirguna, Nirakara, it doesn't even know pure consciousness, purest consciousness, states of consciousness. An Avadhuta does not know he's an Avadhuta, she's an Avadhuta. You call them an Avadhuta, they will say, what is that? They won't say, I'm just telling. They won't be able to understand the terminology because they don't categorize themselves in any category. That is the specialty of Avadhuta. They cannot be categorized into varnashrams. Any of these ashrams, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa, Grahastha, Brahmacharya, they care a damn for all this. They are none of it. Say they are yogis. You can't say they are rishis. You put any name to them, it doesn't matter for them. That is for us. Even calling Avadhuta is for us. It is for our egos to play with. Yeah, Avadhuta is come. For them, there is nothing. There is no play like this only. Very difficult to understand Avadhuta, Avadhuta Tatva. But if you understand, then it's a very good example. You can see God on earth. Simple. You've seen not seen God, the attributes of God, Nirguna Nirakara. Here is Nirguna in an Akara. It's one of the most splendid mysteries. I always say this. Avadhuta is a miracle. Because Nirguna can be Nirakara. And here you have Nirguna in Akara. It has a form. That consciousness has a form. Alas, nobody can understand it. Last time also in this retreat only, you're standing outside and things. Again, people want to run. Just be here. If she comes, comes. If she doesn't come, doesn't. Be just connected, right? Don't try to catch their attention. Meditate. Because near the gate, for a long time, that halagulla was going. Amma is coming, Amma is coming, Amma is coming. She was standing somewhere or sitting down somewhere far on the road. I was telling, just meditate. When we just became aware, not even in 5 minutes, 2, 3 minutes, she got up and came right in front of us and stood there. Didn't she? People were there for the last prayer. She came and stood there. That's it. What more do we need? That's it. Whether she blesses, doesn't bless, what she does, how does it matter? Our achievements must be only limited to this end. That we understand from which state of consciousness they are functioning from. And that is what you are training yourself, shifting into awareness. Because they are awareness. You shift into that awareness that they are. You will not find them anywhere else. You cannot find God anywhere else. It's only in your awareness. You cannot find yourself anywhere else. It's only in awareness. When you become completely aware, you realize you are awareness. And that is why it is called self-realization. You realize. Or it is also called as God realization. You realize that God is pure awareness. So the whole practice again and again comes to that only. That is Arunachala Tattva. That is what this place is trying to gift us with, grace us with. Call from the Arunachala means call from the self, call from God itself, which is from within. Because we are not able to understand from within, he plays a trick and he attracts you from outside. That attraction from outside is the Guru Tattva. That attraction from outside is Arunachala Hill. You come here, at least usi bahan, because we are having this strong outward pulse. We are not settled inward. We are outward people. So outward he plays the game. Go outward. When you go outward, you go actually inward. You come here to Arunachala, you will be thrown inward. His voice is sitting here, Ramana. He will throw you inward. Arunachala's teachings are nothing but Ramana's teachings. You come here to learn about yourself, the world, and samsara, and gods, and everything, and he'll throw you into it yourself only. What did I say? Where is God? Ramana's answer would be, where are you? Find out. Is God there? He would say, find out whether you are there. Does God exist? Find out whether you exist. Yes, I exist, then God exists. Simple equation, I'm telling you. I exist, God exists. What does Nisargadatta Maharaj say? God cannot exist without you existing. You have to exist first. You have to come into picture first. Only then God comes. In sleep, there is no God. Only when you wake up, then you have idea of God. Who came first? So it's all about the self only. The self is there, everything is there. All the concepts are there. If the self is not there, nothing is there. You say Guru is there. Is there Guru there when you're sleeping? When does he arise in your mind? After you get up, right? If you are there, only Guru is there. Do you exist? Yes, I exist. Then God also exists, definitely. Now the next question is, how do you exist? I exist as a body, then your God also will have a body. Exactly your reflection it is. How do you feel you are existent? I feel I am this personality. Then your God will have a personality. Then he will become Shiva, Sharma, Hanuman. Oh no, I exist as presence. Then your God is presence. I exist as nothingness, then your God is nothingness. Are you getting the whole point? The whole point is this. Exactly your reflection, what your experience is. So where will you find God now? Simple. How will you find that God? There is no question of all these debates, whether he exists, whether he has a form, whether he does not have a form. That is why Ramana says, don't go into these topics. Whether he has a form, doesn't have a form. You find out whether you have a form or don't have a form. If you don't have a form, you'll understand that he also doesn't have a form. Same with Guru. How do you treat the Guru? As a body, as a personality, as that person in that image. Then you have an image. You have an image, your Guru will have an image. You identify yourself as the body, your Guru will 100% be that body that you are so fascinated with. You say, no, I am presence, then your Guru is presence. You say, I am pure awareness, I know, I can experience I am pure awareness, then your Guru is simply pure awareness. I think that's the best way to explain this, to understand this whole subject. I'm glad this idea came. So the whole thing, all these posters and quotes and all these things, this is not to keep you entertained. All these groups like mystical mystics and now the Avadhuta or something, they're all to keep you reminded from different angles, bombard you again and again from all angles, all the time to remind you. And I see people get offended because Avadhuts are not talking your language, or your teachers are not talking your language, what you like to hear. They say God is a concept. Oh, this guy is an atheist. Let us run from here. आपके लाइक एक्टिविटी में पता चल जाता है how people prefer to like posts, the groups or whatever is being posted. उसमें पता चल जाता है कि वासना कहाँ है. Most of us don't like the truths, and I'm telling you, you will not get the truth. You don't like hearing the truth, no point chasing the truth. You're a hoax. झूठे हो आप, उल्लू बना रहे हो, बेवकूफ बना रहे हो खुद को या पता नहीं किसको. You're not authenticate. You're not aware fully of this runaway also. Your truth comes and you're not able to face it. See what controversial topics I put there. Look at all those videos, series I put. How many of you are able to digest it? No, na? Truth is as it is. It is not workable. It's not presentable. I'm telling you, it's not just the ordinary people. Even so-called great people also don't accept it. मैंने कितने लोगों के साथ दुश्मनी मोड़ ली है. Many of the Swamis and many of the Gurus also are offended by my work. And I am amused. What is there to get offended? I only say, tell me what is wrong in what I've told. Then we'll talk further. You are not about offense or anything. Correct me where I'm wrong. Come to me and tell me where is that point wrong. Whatever I've pointed out, wherever I'm pointing out, tell me where it is wrong. Simply getting offended, what's the use? That's why I say we are living in a fake world. All thing is fake. That is why you feel like running away from this whole thing, exiting this whole play of consciousness. What crap it is. Simply some one ignorance to the other ignorance you're learning. Today I was reading about this S.S. Cohen. He was one of the first foreigner who came to Tiruvannamalai, Arunachala. I think the first who came was Major Chadwick. This is the second person who came. He lived for many years here, and he writes about his challenges and the way he sees Ramana, how he saw Ramana. All those things he's explaining very nice. So this gives us a good picture of understanding a seeker's point of view. So he says in one of this, I was reading and I said, how true is this? He writes about his frank opinions about the ashram circumstances when he came, how the things were, the challenges, and I'm amused that what we feel today only we have challenges in the ashram. It was only today's modern. No, even in those days it was there. Ignorance can be anywhere, everywhere. Like I told, right? Diya tale andhera. Below the lamp itself, there is this darkness. That is why Ramana used to say, don't come and don't be obsessed with feet because you will come to touch it every day. My own people will not allow you. So if you are so feeling about respect and reverence to the feet, worship that feet in your heart. There's a meaning why he said that. Because you'll get offended. Or some way your obsessions will block you. Like I was telling that lady who I met today, the same thing I told her. Don't get so obsessed with these people. Don't get obsessed with Guru. You learn. You have respect, you have reverence, you take everything that's coming. You understand it, the sheer grace of Lord, because the Lord, Guru, and you are not different. The same thing projecting different ways. But you catch the grace. Be very grateful for the grace that's working. You might want to thank the individual. Okay, good. Respect the individual. Okay, good. But don't cling on to that individual forever. Because then you are discarding the whole source. And then you are saying it has originated from here. How can it originate from there? Because that person is a medium. It is only bypassing it. And that is why people are subject to suffering. I told her the same thing that if you keep running again and again, chasing, I want to meet, or because she used to always write this message, oh, you're here, I am trying to meet, I didn't find you there. And why? What is there in that? After meeting also, what will happen? Some gappa only, right? Can you sit and meditate quietly there? You won't. You want to have chit chat. And I don't encourage that chit chat. What is the use of that? And she said, I want some questions to ask. I said, put it in the clarity session. No tuitions, no personal advices anywhere. And don't talk to me about problems, either here or in the clarity session. I don't answer anybody's personal problems. You are here for spirituality, the source. I'm here. My work is only that much. I'm not here to wash anybody's personal problems. I have not been able to wash my problems. What else? What are your problems? ये दुनिया का गंदा मेल जो है जिद्दी दाग है, ऐसा जाने वाला दाग नहीं है. तो दाग जाए, दाग वहीं पे छोड़ो. और आपको जहाँ रमना है वहां रमो. That is what Ramana is telling. Leave the world to itself, leave the karma to itself, leave the vasana where it is. Don't meddle with it. Don't sit and burn your vasanas. Don't have a war with your vasanas or tendencies and karma. You abide in the self. That abiding in the self only is what I am calling shift into awareness. Self is aware. You remain in aware. So if somebody can be in awareness, then I believe I have been able to transmit the teaching very properly. If they are blah 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 blah, I'm not interested because I know I'm a failure. You might call me whatever, great teacher that, but I know I'm a utter failure. I couldn't convey that message. No point talking also. I leave it to your fate and mine to mine. What is your fate? So I left the person to her fate. I said, you are in Ramana ashram right now. ये क्या बकवास कर रहे हो? जाओ बैठो वहाँ. सोर्स उधर है, जाके उधर बैठो. So I left her to her fate. That's her destiny. Am I the destiny of anybody? No. Why? So that's why Ramana said, don't, my own people will stop you means. Even he's helpless. I've seen gurus are so many times helpless. So many कांड होता है उनके इर्द गिर्द, कुछ कर नहीं पाते. करने का शायद इच्छा भी नहीं है. This Ramana is not a person who will go on becoming an administrator there. Because S.S. Cohen explains when he used to come and sit here in those days, this is in the early before independence, when the World War was going on, like 1930s, late 30s. He said when he used to sit in this hall, there used to be so much disturbance. I was thinking it was the most perfect place those days. Everything was allowed, and Ramana is not a strict in jurisdiction there. He's not correcting things. He's simply that's Avadhuta Tatva. Avadhut means they are not bothered. They're not aware of what's going on. And they're least bothered in the worldly kind of activities. So people come, they go, they sit, and they might chat. Some, he says in this book beautifully, he says, some suddenly in deep silence, somebody will start singing a stuti. Suddenly from somewhere, noise will come. Or somebody, after that, somebody else will sing a mantra. And then it's like competition, he says, one after the other. And look at the Avadhuta, lost. Not oblivious of anything surrounding. Who's getting disturbed? The mind's there. That is a pure state of Avadhuta. No interference anywhere. That is what is called unconditional love. Acceptance, total acceptance of everything. They just are a pure witness of what's happening around them. That's all. They will never interfere in any play. Avadhuta. That is Avadhuta Tatva. They will never enter into any play. I have not seen any of these Avadhutas, whom I met, the 13 of them that I'm mentioning, interfering into anybody's karma, any play, this, that. Things might seem like that. People make all kind of stories around them. But I can't see them. Because you need to have ego to even play the savior, to be the blesser. There has to be some subtle ego, sattvic ego only, but it has to be. There is some form of ego must be there. Some form of superiority and inferiority will be there because the superior only will bless the inferior. The superior will try to raise the inferior. For an Avadhuta, there is no superior, no inferior. I hope we are getting the point. What this Avadhuta Tattva is. For that, you study deeply Avadhuta Gita, Ashtavakta. Both are there in my courses, shiftingintoawareness.com/courses. Deeply, we have meditated on every verse. So he was saying the same thing, like, how one gets pulled towards Arunachala. Of course, all of us come here because somewhere we are fed up with samsara. You can't deny that. कितना भी glorify कर लो आपके संसार को, you are fed up. Without getting fed up, you can never turn to Arunachala. You might not be totally fed up, that's another story. But some amount of fed upness is there. That's the start of the journey. You are forgotten. We have all forgotten, and now we are remembering slowly who we are. Tirobhava nature of Shiva is activated. By nature, he forgot himself. He means not a separate identity. You are only Shiva. You forgot. And when you forgot, you took a different identity. You lost your original memory that I am Shiva, Shivoham. And now we are in this state of I am this, I am that. Slowly, the Anugrah Shakti within me, the Panchakritya, the fifth Kritya of Shiva is Anugrah Shakti. When that activates from within my bosom, I start remembering. Then I create events. My own grace, Tirobhav nature, my Anugrah Shakti blossoms from my heart and attracts. This grace only attracts, manifests from outside everything that I need to remember myself. Who am I? Shiva. My Anugrah Shakti. I as Shiva. That when it gets activated, my forgetfulness, which is the ego, that is being reminded by that Anugrah Shakti. How? I only manifest it from outside. And as things from outside manifest, I draw the attention. And all these things that happen around me, me going to a guru, guru coming to me going to an avadhuta, or me meeting some divine person, me suddenly having coincidences, synchronicities, or me coming across a scripture, me coming across something, all these dramas, these are all outer projection. But the reality is, it is the grace only that is manifesting these things into my life. Only those who go to the source will be able to understand this. Only those who go to the source. Rest won't be able to understand what's happening. From the source point of view only, you'll understand. And that is when you know it is grace. Otherwise, these are all just concepts. You listen to me and say, oh, it is grace. Huh? Oh, okay. Where is the grace? Oh, God is giving. You look up. Looking up, down, left, right, front, back is all directional. It happens only in duality. In non-duality, where does it happen? Everything is here in the now. In this moment, it is here in this presence. And I am having a subjective experience of everything. Everything. The Shakti, the movement, the stillness, the forgetfulness, the grace of remembrance. Everything is happening subjectively here. It's a deep experience. But that can come only when we turn inward. More and more we turn inward, we attract these kind of experiences in our life. Even if you start getting a strong longing, it's all on your urge. Ichha Shakti. Ichha Shakti is not only going outward. Ichha to come inward also is Ichha only. भोग के लिए भी इच्छा शक्ति चाहिए, then it will क्रियामान होके it will give you the संसार. मुक्ति के लिए, मोक्ष के लिए भी इच्छा चाहिए, then वो क्रियामान होके आपको मुक्त करेगा. That's all. It's only a matter of direction. What you desire. That is the whole thing about the world or liberation. Both cannot come together. Opposite direction. If you keep utilizing both, then your kundalini will be dancing. Sometimes up, sometimes down. Sometimes in, sometimes out. Sometimes you're having great experiences inwardly. Sometimes you're having great experiences outwardly. Who's limiting this? Me only. Due to lack of understanding what's happening. So this fed upness, what is there, it comes after many such kind of experiences only. And I tell this very clearly. I repeat this again and again. Until you see the falseness of this world, you cannot return home. Guaranteed. You check it out. If you're still not convinced that this world is false, you cannot get into self-realization. You cannot move towards liberation, mukti. No, I feel the world is, I know it is false. At least 25-30%. I know it is false, but not fully. Then 25-30% will be your progress in that journey towards the self. The day it becomes 100%, it will be 100% pull towards the self. Simple. That is why awareness, because only if you're aware, you will see the falseness in this world. If you don't see the falseness, you will never be able to see it as Maya. You can never see it as illusion. You will think it is real. And till the time you think it is real, your disha will be different. Your ichha will be outside. Your kriya will be outside. So you'll get more and more sansara. Punarpi janmam, punarpi maranam. But through awareness, when you see it is false, whatever I'm chasing is not coming in my hand, it's illusion. It's not staying with me permanently. This little moment that it is staying with me, which gives me joy, which I call sukha, sooner or later results into dukkha because it's not staying with me. Neither my people are staying with me, all that I've gathered in this world is going to stay with me or is staying with me, even this body is not going to stay with me. What is there? Everything is false. And anytime I lose, I'm going to feel the pain. I lose somebody from my life, I'll be in pain. But I'm not learning. I know I'll lose this body, but I'm learning. No, body is real only. So I live with the fear. I suffer every single day. Every day I'm dying with the fear of death. Why? I refuse to see. Why? No awareness. I'm not aware of what the things are. So, body, this world, everything is coming from where? Ignorance. So, I say first, we must have this awareness. We must develop viveka. What is the quality of viveka? Viveka ka kaam kya hai? The power of discrimination is viveka, buddhi, intellect. Intellect means power of discrimination. It can discriminate what is real and what is unreal very sharply. Until viveka is developed, you will never see anything unreal. You'll see everything as real only here. Viveka will show every time everything how false it is, though appearing real. The world appears real, but it is false. Guru appears real, it is false. God appears real, it is false. Only with awareness you can see. God appears in my mind, false. Punjaji, when he came and told Bhagwan Ramana about seeing Krishna and Krishna is appearing, not just in my mind, he manifests in front of me. And Ramana asks, is he there right now? He looks at, no, not now. Ramana simply says, anything that comes will go. Anything that comes will go. Anything that comes and goes cannot be real. It is false. What is the definition of truth? What is the definition of real? That which exists always without an end. It neither comes, neither goes. It has always been here. That is the self. Self never dies. Consciousness never dies. It was always there. It was never born, it will never die. So Ramana simply says, catch that which is real. Viveka again, awareness. Ramana's awareness, full awareness. He is awareness himself, Murugan himself. So he's telling, don't be fanciful towards the things that appear and disappear. That is all your mental projection. That's not God. Where is this God playing in the mind? The same place that you see your mehbooba, where you see your little child, where you see your enemy, where you see your friend, your projections of the mind, your attachments, जिसके साथ भी मोह है, आसक्ति है, they will all appear in your mind. And the God also is appearing there only. Is it a different screen? Same screen only is appearing. So anything that appears will disappear. Anything that appears and disappears is not real. Like your mind, thoughts, are they real? They are not real. Past में ये हुआ, this happened, that happened, all stories, dramas in the mind. Are they real? They are not real. They're just memories coming on the projecting screen and disappearing. So that is not the search for God. Mature seekers will understand this is not the place we search for God. He is not in that murti. That murti is a kalpana of man. You say, I'm fond of Shakti. Shakti has infinite forms. You see Ma Durga itself. Is it one picture? No. Thousands. You see Shiva. Is it one picture? No. Thousands. What are they? Kalpana. Mental projection of the artist. Can God be drawn? Can God be given a shape? Yes, but by the mind. Mind gives shape to God. Why? Because the mind has a shape. The artist has a shape. That is why all our gods are humanly. They have hands, legs, hand, mouth, eyes, hair. Why? Because a human identifies everything with the human body. What did we speak? Body consciousness, same appearance your God. I have also told, like, if you are having vasanas of being a 8-pack body and a bodybuilder, your Shiva will be a bodybuilder. All the images that you're fascinated will be a bodybuilder Shiva. It's really absurd. All these new images of modern era, they never existed 10 years back, 20 years back. All these today's Shivas, see, where did they come from? From the artist's mind, projections of the mind, vasanas. Even gods are created by vasanas. Somebody drew a bearded Shiva in some of the picture, some image. Bearded Shiva with a beard. And this image was shown to my guru. And he looked at it. Huh? What is this? I've never seen the bearded Shiva. And he even smirked. Muscular Shiva. भ्रांत बुद्धियों को समझ ही नहीं आएगा. Offended. Immediate offense. क्यों बोला जा रहा है, क्या बोला जा रहा है, what is being talked, is it the truth or not? Self reflecting capacity है ही नहीं. The ego is very strong in me, mine, हमारा identity. You don't want to investigate the truth. That is why we get offended when we hear the truth. Thank God Ramana is saying all these things, otherwise people will come and hang us. ये कहाँ से लिखे है? We can point out, not me, he is saying. It is not that I have looked into these books or the teachings and then I'm saying, I knew this from my childhood only. Something inside me used to always not believe in the what the church is presenting or what the temples are presenting. Nothing, nothing. I couldn't identify with it. So where does this knowledge? It is there in us. But I was confused. I could not speak on all these things. It's a taboo. I tried speaking it in my family only when I was young. They all shut up. Even I got scared that if elders only are telling shut up, they are only scared, then children also will get scared. So I just shut up. I didn't say anything. Many questions I used to ask. Believers zone. We believe, we also should shut up and believe. We are told we should not question anything. And I remained mum. So as I grew up, all these things I am seeing. And then I started speaking with little courage here and there. And then I see people are not liking it. Then I thought something is wrong with me only. Until I came to Arunachala, the whole courage came from here. Everything is there. Whatever I felt all my life, it is there in the Shastras. This Shastra is coming, that Shastra, everything is coming out. I say, wow, finally I can speak my heart out by blaming them. I'll not take to blame them because I have experienced how the world scrutinizes you. And that's what even he was telling here. That's why I call it a fake world. That's why I call it very difficult to navigate through this world. For me, from the time I have become conscious, I have never felt home here. Never. I had never felt that I belong here. I still feel it's somewhere else only. Somehow I've landed here and some things are going on here. So here, Cohen also is telling the same thing in his book he was writing. He is looking at all the interaction in the ashram and he's sometimes getting disturbed and sometimes, I was telling, no, damn silence and then somebody's singing something and somebody's talking and Avadhuta is like blank. And then after when he wakes up, he moves around, So there's a whole thing that is going on around. They are disconnected with all these things. So that is the reason he said, my own people will not allow you to touch the feet. Now, he is not interested in all those things. He is simply telling you, go to the source. No? Why you want to get stuck in all these things? So here he is telling, to me in the beginning, this was all the more perceptible in the contrast it offered to the hustle bustle of the life on which I had just turned my back. It's a contrast. He came in the presence of Ramana and he's seeing the contrast from where he has turned back. He has turned back from the world. Sansara is different, weird. That's the opposite is here. To the wasted energy, the false values. He's talking about the world now. His own life, where he saw, where he was involved in the world. I can relate with this because exactly is what I feel and what I've gone through. So when you are in the world, fully there, and now you're reflecting from a spiritual point of lens and deep reality, you're reflecting back to the contrast. You can see he's seeing this. He's looking back at the wasted energy, the false values, the foolish expectations from ideals, which are in themselves hollow reeds. Ideals are your whoever you are inspired by. So he's telling the foolish expectations from these ideals, who are in themselves hollow reeds. The dreary intercourse with people, sexual activities, with whom one has very little in common. Matlab, you interact, you go and indulge with people, you have relationships with people who have no essence of what you really have, even a bit of it. They might be completely. So it's simply like a dreary intercourse you're having this world. To the social rules which have been laid down by many generations of selfishness, convention, and superstitions, not to speak of the mess of politics, of rank and wealth, and the bitter jealousy and hatred they breed in the minds of men. It is a small wonder, therefore, that Bhagwan appears to the serious minded as a beacon of light in an otherwise impenetrable darkness and a heaven of peace. So, in that contrast, is very clearly seeing Bhagwan's presence. Bhagwan means Ramanas. He's seeing that contrast where all these hypocrisy is there, everything. He's telling, therefore, Bhagwan appears as, to the serious minded as a beacon of light. So, those who are really serious minded, those who genuinely want to seek it, Ramana appears as the beacon of light in an otherwise impenetrable darkness. So, and this is very true. This lines struck chord with every single word and even the punctuations appeal to me in depth. There is so much of contrast in this world. You can't find it. So Ramana is certainly a beacon of light to the serious minded who will show the way out of this darkness. And that we are already discussing in depth. What is that beacon of light that we are talking? See, here another part that I saw, his piece of advice. Now, Mr. Cohen does not proclaim himself as a great sadhak or devotee. I can see humbleness in his writings. He just came, wrote about his coincidences. He talked about his own flaws, sometimes his inability to keep up with that reality also. All those things he has written. So one point he just mentioned a warning like to sadhaks or seekers. I like that part, so I just made a note of it. He's talking about retrospection. Retrospection, reverse introspection. For all those who are deeply reflecting inside, the seekers of light, who are moving towards the truth. Sadhaks must be warned against the tricks of memory, of which nothing is more harmful, nothing more destructive to the peace of mind which is necessary for a successful sadhana. Warning the seekers against the catch of memory, which I just said. Everything is memory. Everything is coming from your memory. Memory is not true, but our whole problems can magnify if you are identifying with that memory. So he's telling sadhaks must be warned against the tricks of memory. It cannot be too often recommended to them to forbear looking into the past with the trials and errors. He's telling there's no point in looking into the past. Never be tempted to look into the past. What is in the past? Trials and errors. Whatever we did, trials and errors. Acts of omission and commission. We left this, we caught something. Regrets, fear, passion, love and hatred, personal tragedies, etc. etc. Seemingly indissoluble human ties, all our relationships. More so, wealth and fame, thus, not even worth a moment's regret. Nothing can be regretted here. If we are constantly looking into any of these memories, useless. This can be a major obstacle for the sadhak. For, he says, nothing is changeless and lasting but the natural state of pure being. All these things are transaction. They are simply passing through our sky, Chit Akasha, as clouds. And we catch the clouds. So that's what he's saying here. Nothing is changeless and lasting, but the natural state of the pure being. The Akasha is always there. Akasha always exists. What comes and goes? Clouds. Thoughts, memories, regrets, past, failures, trial, errors, human relationship, personal tragedies, this and that, and all these things. Moment you project on this, your thing is stuck. You are stuck with an illusion which does not exist. You should have deep awareness to show you again and again what you're looking at is bullshit. Then you'll drop it. Or else that bullshit will be your prized possession. Yeah, we have 10 more minutes, and I'll come back to that point which we are trying to understand here. That which really exists is only the self, the world, the jiva, that is the ego, and the Ishvara are all mental creations. So my mind arises in the morning, or when I come out of samadhi, the whole projections in the mind come out. Thus, I, the individual, comes out, Jivatma, the Jiva comes out, the samsara comes out, which is again a projection in the mind. Because when the mind is open only, you suddenly remember, I am a father, mother, husband, wife, brother, sister. I have a child. The child has to go to tuitions. The child has to go to school. I have to pack the bags. I have to take care of this. I have to take care of that. Everything comes only after the mind opening it. When the mind is not there is no samsara. The jiva is not there, samsara is not. Jiva comes in, samsara comes. And so does Ishvara. So I put myself into an ignorance. I put myself into trouble by waking up to this forgetfulness. Consider this jiva as real, and thus the samsara is real. And then when I, the jiva, interact with the samsara, I am in all kind of problems. Now I need a solution maker, and then I call upon Ishvara. Why is Ishvara needed? If there is no conflict, tell me. If there is no conflict, will Ishvara be needed? Think about it. Will the Guru be needed? Only because there is a conflict. And what is the conflict? A false I and a false world. Both fighting against each other. And then you bring in a false Ishvara. Mental. See, at our egoic level, these are very real. You cannot discard it as false. Ishvara is false when you are in pure ego. Only when you rise above it, you can see the whole thing. But sitting down here as the ego and thinking, oh, I am in the satsang, I'm listening to some truths. And then you are wondering about, I have to make my bed now. I have to put my children to sleep. Tomorrow morning I have to cook. This guy is going on and on. 10:30 he told, and at 11 o'clock it's going on. Such a person will need a God. Because you are fully there. Your mind is here, and mind is another playing another trick here. You're playing the game of satsang. Satsang is not useful to you. इतना सारा कॉन्सेप्ट बना लिया, उसके अंदर एक सत्संग भी एक कॉन्सेप्ट आ गया. रमणा another concept. Arunachala another concept. Why do we need all these concepts? Why I am sitting for satsang? Because I have conflict with all this nonsense here, in and around my life. So to ease my mind, I sit here for satsang. I sing the whole works. So from this point, when you are sitting in this state of mind, You will get offended. Oh, what are you saying? Ishvara is mental creations. Most of the time, it is because our whole values are being shaken. Whole life we have lived in a certain understanding, and then when the truth is opening up, you can't believe it. Truth is always unbelievable. And then he also says in another quote, all these universes, humans, objects, thoughts, and events are merely pictures moving on the screen of pure consciousness, which alone is real. Shapes and phenomena pass away, but consciousness remains aware. That is what Cohen also is speaking about. All these things about memory, this, that, all these dramas which we have, all these complaints and broodings and which is there are all like shapes and phenomena which will pass away. What will remain? Consciousness. The one that is seeing these different, this coming and this going, that will remain. Seasons will come and go. Day will come, night will come. Day will go, night will come. Night will go, day will come. Rainy season, autumn, spring, winter, summer, these also keep changing. Body is seeing childhood, teenager, adolescence, adulthood, old age. But the one who's seeing, the seer of all these states, is alone existing at all times, whether it is day or night or rainy or summer or old age or teenage. The seer, the witness, the awareness is always present. Rest all is just passing fleets. So the watcher is always there. The witnesser is always there. The experiencer is always there. That experiencer is what we are calling as awareness here. So we are trying to come to that subjective realization. The beautiful example of Akasha is the best. Space. I am the Akasha. That is why we relate to Chidakasha. I am not anything that moves in this Akasha. Neither the planets, neither the sun, nor the star, nor the wind, nor the fire, not anything. Not even the light, darkness, nothing. The sky, the Akasha. In the Akasha, everything is moving. The beauty is, none of these objects can catch hold of this Akasha, neither the Akasha can catch hold of any of these objects floating within it. It cannot hold anything, but it's freely floating. Things are floating in it. Who am I? I'm the Akasha, Chidakasha. That is Chidakasha Gita. Akasha I'm just giving as an example, not the ultimate example. Because that Akasha also is gross. The Bhuta Akasha, this space between you and me right now, the space between you and this device, what is there? There's some space between you. That is the Bhuta Akasha, physical Akasha. This space is physical. You close your eyes, and when this all disappears, your Chit Akasha opens up. Your mind as an Akasha. In that Akasha space, thoughts are floating around. That is a subtler space. This is at least physical. That is more subtler. That also is not the whole thing. When Chitakash also is gone, you enter into Samadhi, what remains? Chidakash. Chidakasha is that space of consciousness in which the Chitakasha, the mind, appears. And from the mind, the Bhutakasha, the physical world appears. Neither the physical world is real, neither the mental world is real. But the substratum in which these two Akashas are floating, that is the Chidakasha. That is what I am. That is Nirguna Nirakara. That is the Shivoham. That is the self. That is God. From that point of view, only all these rishis and great seers have written everything is Maya. Are you getting it? Maya cannot be told after coming into Bhuta Akasha. You cannot sit here and tell this is Maya. No, it becomes very real. But when you meditate very deeply and you go into that blank space of awareness, you can understand everything is Maya because everything winds up. It disappears. Just it disappears. What did Ramana say? Anything that appears and disappears cannot be real. It has to be always there. What is always there? The seer is always there. The one who is witnessing is always present. Any questions? I think I'll extend one more day here. And I think today is what? Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay. Sunday, I think I can have a webinar from here only, where we actually practice these things. Let us see whatever name we have to give that. Names to bahane. Anyways, any questions? that's the beauty. See, many of the people don't like Osho. Why? Because he's very crude. They say he talks nonsense. Where is he talking nonsense? You must have seen that video where the lady is asking Osho about God. And she's clearly telling, I don't like when you say there is no God. Previously, I used to believe that, but now rather than calling it God, I call it godliness in my life. But there is godliness. But somehow I don't like when you say that there is no God. I say, can you please help me in my confusion? And Osho beautifully says, baby, I am here to confuse you. Because only in confusion will somebody shake their beliefs. Because if you are a believer, see, even if you hear the truth, now this lady is surely fond of Osho, 100%, maybe the disciple. So she can't discard what the Guru is telling also. So there she is again having a protective layer of the ego saying that somehow I don't want to give back my consciousness, my beliefs. Is there any way that you can help me without me dropping this belief? And that's why Osho says, I'm here to confuse, because in that confusion, there is trauma, there is a shakingness, there is a deep questioning. You will not settle down. There is an unease. All these building tactics are that way. You sit in some ease and you want everybody, the Guru, the God, the scripture to give you ease. If ease is coming in your life, you say, this is the best Guru I've ever had. Problems in it. I am telling you, the Guru is who puts you in fire, never allows you to rest until you find the ultimate rest, the ultimate peace. Because if you settle down here and say, this is peace, गुरु ने मुझे शांति नहीं दिया, शांति नहीं दिया, भ्रांति दिया है तुमको, मोक्ष नहीं दिया, संसार दिया है तुमको. Because he or she has allowed you to settle down here and say, this is the truth, this is so beautiful. So nice to sit here in the corner of my room and do this beautiful sadhana, where God is appearing in this form and that form and keeping me so happy. Just that look is enough. It gives me an assurance that I can keep my ego alive. Tomorrow, even when my ego is shaken, again I'll call upon him. Again that image will come. Again my Guru will appear in my dreams. And he will tell, keep on going, my dear, in this samsara. And I like this kind of imagery. I see how hoax it is. So gurus like Osho's, like Gurjif, like Jiddu are not liked. But who cares whether you like or not? You want to go beyond, you have to settle down with these kind of people. That is why I force these kind of people into your feeds, social media feeds. Previously, it was a big jolt, but now people are settling down because they are understanding the truths. Initially, there is a scare, there's a tremble. When you hear these words, it's very frightening. But then after a while, you want to look at it, you want to explore it, and then you say it makes sense. That is how we progress. And that is the Leela, that is the grace. That is how grace works. Consciousness only is playing this all games by sending even rough people into this earth. Because the roughness has to be broken, toughness has to be broken. Anyways, hope this session helped you. Let me contemplate and think if I have to put this on YouTube. This is all a very deep and good introduction to Arunachala Tattva, especially those who are very new to Arunachala. It will help you understand this whole thing. That is why I've slowly started putting these tattvas out on YouTube also. For the newcomers, for the people who are very new, they should be, because there is all misconceptions again. People think only we are coming here and doing bhajans, or we are coming here and only praying. We are coming here with the belief that God will take care of us and we need not do anything. No, it's the whole way around. People think we are coming here objectively only. We come here in the start objectively. What are these retreats? Level 1 is all objective. Level 2 is purely subjective. You go around, because if you go around, you see, you must relish the beauty of this creation, beauty of God, the beauty, because God cannot, you cannot say that He's not there, because anything that is created out of consciousness has God Tattva in it, definitely. Different levels of consciousness. So there are some places on earth which is again matter, but levels of consciousness are different. So this is one space which is very high in consciousness. So when I come here as a conscious being, Jiva, I can interact with this place which is elevated in consciousness. So I call myself low consciousness. Then I'll have a good experience with high consciousness. Wherever I go, there is an interaction. It's in the play, but it's an experience. And we must experience that. That is level 1. But by level 2, everybody settles down. It's completely pure subjective. What we are talking here, going deep within and making the whole thing turn inward. Ramana's teachings activate. Nisardat Maharaj's teachings activate. Arunachala Tattva, the Gyan Marg opens up. All the secrets of Arunachala, the Brahma Gyan. This is all the Brahma Gyan. It leads towards the Brahma Gyan. That all starts opening up. So level 2 prepares us for level 3, which is the final state. That state is non-doing. Here we are doing. One, we are fully doing. Second, we are learning not to do. Third level, we should be, we are not doing. So it is not about forceful not doing. It is about, by the time we reach the third, we understand everything is beautifully orchestrated. Everything is the play of consciousness, which is living, brimming through me, and I'm just a witness to that consciousness. There is nothing absolutely to do. That state leads us to the state of Jivan Mukta. Means even having the body, even having some identity, some prarabdha still left, but the being is liberated, though there is prarabdha. They are examples of Ramana. You can see Ramana, you can see Nityananda, you can see Nisardat Maharaj. You can see all these great beings. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. You cannot say after they were illumined, they nothing happened to them, no karma. No, you can see karma playing on them, but it has no effect because they are not identified with their body anymore. That is Jivan Mukta states. Prarabdha exhausts itself. And the last bit of Prarabdha, when it completely exhausts, then there is a natural dissolution that happens. What happened with Ramana, Ramakrishna, Swami Samartha, Gajanan Maharaj, Nityananda, it's a natural dissolution. They were never sitting there and burning their karmas. Study them well. Because the burner is ego. The burner has to die. The tapasvi has to die. That is the third level. The doership has to go. It is surrender. It is knowing it's the play of consciousness, and then it's the whole thing is submitted there. That is the state where my guru told that Teri raza mein meri raza, jasvidi rakhe usvidi rahiye, jo shiva gya, thy will be done. That state. So that is the ultimate state. That is moving towards that zone, the level 3 zone. That zone might take a lifetime to reach. It cannot be done by methods. It cannot be done with the time limit. It cannot be done as a course. It cannot be done. That's all crap. It cannot have methods, technique. It is a state of evolution. If we understand level 1 and move to level 2, and if we thoroughly understand the level 2 practices and what we are doing, the third one will automatically happen. It cannot be reached. You cannot put an effort and go into non-doership. I told right yesterday we were talking in that. I cannot say I have surrendered. That one who's trying to surrender must die. That dying only takes you to surrender. So what is that dying? I die. Individuality should lose its grip. And this individuality strengthen itself. The more concepts you have, the more beliefs you have, the more programming you have, the more mind stuff you have, the more stories you have, it will strengthen. So simultaneously in level 1 and level 2, we dissolve this. We don't strengthen the mind here, strengthen the awareness. And that becomes an experience, because once you come and experience it in this place, because we are sitting in the lap of Shiva itself. The hill is just behind me, not even 500 meters. So all our satsangs, all our retreat, everything is done on the lap of Shiva only. Foothill at his feet. We go up the mountains, we meditate there. Everything is the experience of Shiva, His grace. Okay. Anyhow, I think by day after tomorrow we'll close the registrations. People have signed up, and it's okay. Whoever, how many ever count, we are not bothered now. Not by count or anything. We don't want to fill up and like that. Whoever feel comfortable are most welcome. You can apply and come. It's strictly on approval basis. If we are not approved, don't sit arguing like some of you are doing. We'll see next time. You do those practices. Some practices are needed, because this is not a place to come and heal your uh, diseases and illnesses and worldly problems. I don't. The moment we sense that, we don't. This is not a place. You can come here. You can take the guidance. You can see my videos. You can see everything about Arunachala. You can come here. You can move around here. But retreats are for something else. And that, I think, we have made it very clear. Anyways, it's time, and let's end it with a short prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudechyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we all be blessed. May we all evolve. May we all be free. Arunachala Shiva. Bye.